Next bullet point I have is, Keith, your progress or your revisiting of shifting CAGO to be a non-profit organization.
Yep.
I guess it was one of the original goals to eventually make it nonprofit. Have you made any more advancement with that?
Mike Delapine again. He said he's been involved with setting up nonprofits before, and he really wants to move forward with it. So we're hoping by the end of this year, CAG will be officially a nonprofit. And I think the pros of it outweigh the cons. So the pros of it would be that we can apply for grants, we can take donations, we get a lot of tax breaks. The cons would probably be, I think, you wouldn't see me as much anymore. So I mean, there would be a board of directors, so it would be set up. The structure of it would be set up way more differently than it is now, or it would be more evolved. So we have to figure out all this like protocol, bylaws, all this stuff. But there's steps to doing it, so we're going to start moving forward with the steps to make that.
I think one of the other pros of doing it, and this is something I was talking with Ed on the way up, and I've been talking with Mark about it as well, is that what we need to do is we need to make sure. I mean, there are those of us who have been published extensively, and there are those of us who have been self-published extensively. So we have an idea that this is fun and we enjoy it. It's an entertaining thing and it's our hobby, and we're having a good time and all. But it's a business. And we're doing it not just for fun. We're doing it for a business. We want to make money. We want to have careers in this. We want to work in the industry either as independents. We want to work for Marvel. We want to work for DC. You want a paying gig at this. I don't want to have to go back to Walmart. I don't want to have to go back to my dull job. I want to be able to do this for a living. Get up in the morning and just write and draw comics. What a great job that would be. So what we need to do is there's some of us who don't understand what deadlines look like, and by establishing ourselves as a real business, a not-for-profit business, we can establish the fact that, you know what, we are a business. We're an organization. We really have deadlines. And if I say I want it Tuesday, March the 1st, I want it Tuesday, March the 1st. I don't want it on the 15th. I don't want it on the 20th. I don't want it on the 2nd. I don't want it on the 2nd at 12:05. I want it on the 1st by midnight. That's what I want. And it's a business, and you've got to do it. And if we were in business and you were late on your deadline, well, you know what, you're fired. And we're not going to fire anybody. We don't want to treat anybody that way. We understand that we all have real gigs, we all have real lives, and we all want to participate in this process. But what we want to do is we want to get a product out. We want to get it out on a regular schedule, and we want to. And if you're holding up a deadline, you're not just holding up the deadline. You're holding up my book, and my book was done. My stuff was done. Your stuff isn't. And this is what we have to do. So we want to start instituting, maybe issuing contracts. A very basic contract. What you as the creator own, what we as the company are our responsibilities. What your responsibilities are, and we want to go forward on that and teach some of the. This is a training ground. We're the farm people, and we understand we're the farm people. We got to work like we want to get into the bigs.
We're in the majors.
Yeah. Because if we don't, no one's going to pay attention to us, and we still won't. We can publish all we want, but
we won't be credible.
Yeah, we're not going to be credible, and that's what we need to be.
Anybody else have anything to add on that subject? No. All right. We had mentioned the previous meetings were just a monthly meeting, and it wasn't bringing much to it. Last month, I hosted that super meeting over in Farmington where we got that room for 5 hours.
How'd that go?
I think it went well. We had like 10 people come by. Bob came all the way up from Norwalk, right?
Norwalk.
And Z-Man came down from
Mars.
Where do you live?
Planet Z.
Where do you live, Z?
Planet Z.
Where?
Brookfield.
How long of a drive was that for you?
Like an hour and a half.
You two, thanks to you two, you totally legitimized me having that meeting in that spot. And I talked to Keith about it and the location. Some of you guys saw it. It's a very beautiful location in the spring. There's a nice brook that goes through there. Maybe we can do like a picnic kind of thing there, and I could get that space again for another block of 5 hours or so, and we could just jam out again.
I was going to say, if we're going to do a picnic, will it just be CAG people, or can we bring
everybody?
Others?
We can bring people, absolutely. I don't see why not. But I'd like to tie it to a workshop environment, though.
Sure.
But so then, what are you going to have your people do then?
cares?
We can
Watch
send them
us.
that. Route 44's got a lot of shopping and stuff there, so there are things that.
I'm not even sure, unless we can get Wi-Fi, then my 15-year-old won't be interested in coming, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But we definitely like to revisit that. And then, anybody organizing any movie meetings? Dues. This is something, I know that we're outside the dues window. Well, as head of the Connecticut chapter, I'd like to make sure that our Connecticut peeps are well spoken for as far as keeping up with the dues. So I don't know who's paid or who hasn't, but I want to make sure that if you haven't, please make an effort to go and talk to Keith or go to the website and catch up, because I think CAG is a privilege to be a member of, and I think it'd be great if all the Connecticut people were spoken for and were paid up. I think that's important. $25 is nothing, and there are other memberships that are out there that are a lot more that you probably get less out of. So that's that. That's my soapbox on that.
Do we have a way to track who's actually paid?
I actually am keeping a running list since December of '06. So now we have an actual list of who paid each month. Dues, you want the list. Dues, you know who has money and who doesn't. That's There's dues drives twice a year, December and July. So we try to do it every 6 months. That might change after we become a nonprofit. It might just be open all year.
I think if we have a list, it's a whole lot easier to collect, because we can,
Send a reminder.
blow
emails.
hot air all we want
Right.
at these meetings, and out of mind, out of sight, out of mind.
It's really going to become one person's task to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Nominate a treasurer.
Yeah, we definitely need somebody,
Hey.
somebody who likes to count money. There's no money to count. So, you know what I mean.
We'll give you
keep
Monopoly
any
money, and you
themselves.
can count that.
We need an honest person that doesn't need money. That's I'm just kidding.
Where's Bill Gates? Is he
We're all like in comics, right?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
All right, the next thing, CAG 5 came out. It looks great. We've got it in the other room. If you want to purchase a copy as a CAG member, you get the $2 discount off the cover, correct? This issue includes the Commander storyline. It's also got Andrea Grant's flip cover for Minx. It's a good quality looking book.
It's got a nice bigger ad in it too. I saw
Hey,
that.
thank you for that. Steve, we love you, and come back soon.